This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. Delighted to be joined with Carl Frampton. We're here, the day of reckoning called, 23rd of December. I don't even know where to start. This card is just absolutely ridiculous. We never thought we'd see AJ and Wilder together, but they're not fighting each other. But just what do you make of this card to sort of sum it up?
Unbelievable. I think I heard someone criticising it a little bit and talking about, it would be much better if it was AJ versus Wilder, and yeah, it probably would be, but I mean, you can't criticise this card. It's incredible what they're putting on, and AJ and Wilder are both in very interesting fights against different opponents. I mean, Otto Wallin for me is probably him and Martin McCauley, the two most avoided heavyweights. No one mentions them, no one wants to fight them. And Joseph Parker, I think, is better right now than he was as a world champion. I think the influence that Andy Lee's had on him as a coach is really, really good. So I mean, and look, the list goes on. Look at the fighters on that behind me. It's unbelievable. But yeah, the main two fights are incredible in their own right.
We'll get into that. Obviously, Joshua and Wilder are on the same card, and the people would want them to fight each other. Is there frustrations that they still have to have one more before they end up fighting each other?
Look, genuinely, I'm not frustrated at all. I'm just glad to see events of this magnitude and size. I think it probably will happen if both guys win their next fights, which isn't a gimme, or which isn't a given. You can make an argument for both guys losing. If they win, then I imagine they'll probably fight next. There's a talk of Fury and Usyk in the new year. The money's the Saudis have. It could be, Wilder and AJ on the undercard or chief support to that, which would be incredible. So, I'm just excited about boxing at the minute. As long as these promoters keep working together and we keep getting these sort of fights of this magnitude, then I don't think we have to be happy with it.
We'll get into the first fight with it being Joshua Wilder, the main event. Very, very risky fight for AJ to take, considering if Wilder's next, Wallin being a smooth, slick southpaw, doesn't really make sort of a lot of sense of him to fight Wallin before Wilder if it's potentially next.
I think it's a risk, and again, Wallin's one of the most overlooked heavyweight fighters on the planet, and look what he done to Fury. He cut him twice pretty badly. On another day, that fight may have been stopped. The referee was good and he allowed the cut man to do his work, but other more scrimmage referees may have stopped that. So, and he pushed Fury then after that. He's had a couple of good wins. He beat Gassiev last week and a good win, or a few weeks ago and a good win. So, dangerous fight. So, I mean, the fights that we're talking about, AJ having, the Wilder and Fury and all these fights to come, this is a risky fight, so you have to give AJ all the credit in the world for taking this. Wallin's a very good fighter.
Do you think the same can be said for someone like Wilder when it comes to Parker, training with Andy Lee? If there's anyone that knows how to beat Wilder, it's definitely the Andy Lee camp and the Fury camp. Is there a lot of risk on this, especially with someone like Parker, who we know how good he can be?
Yeah, I think looking at the odds, Wilder's a massive favourite in the fight, but I don't quite see it like that. I think that what he's got, obviously, he's got the power, and he can change a fight at any one point in a fight. But like I said at the start, I think Joe Parker is a better fighter now than he was as a world champion. It's a dangerous fight for both guys. And again, I think the bookies have it wrong. Like Wilder's, I'm not saying I have it wrong. I would have Wilder as the favourite, but how wide it is, I think maybe it needs looked at.
One thing you did mention there is about everyone working together. You see all this sort of all the promotions there. You see Matchroom, you see Queensbury, you see Wasserman. Salita's here, Top Rank. Does it show that moving forward at Saudis that everyone is stronger when they're working together?
Absolutely. Look at this build's incredible. So as long as it continues, and what's interesting is it's taken the Saudis to come and do this and put this together, and this is things that we've been asking about and talking about for a long time. The promoters working together. Just doing it more often and putting their big fighters against each other. And up until now, it hasn't really happened. So hopefully we continue this trend and it continues to happen. And the next fight, the Usyk and Fury fight, whenever that may be, hopefully it continues and we're going to see it again.
When you look at Saudis now, you fought in America. America's always been the dream. Vegas has been the dream. Do you feel like there could be a shift now where, instead of Vegas, they're looking at, Jeddah, Riyadh, places like this where, that could be the new mecca of boxing in a sense?
Well, look, I think that the money's out there certainly, and fighters are being well paid to go out there, and rightfully so. It's a tough sport, and they deserve to be well paid. If they're in these good fights and they're matched well, you know, they deserve it. The mecca of boxing, just not quite yet, I don't think. I mean, when I think of the mecca of boxing and dream about, you know, the dreams I had of when I was a kid was fighting in America, in the States, and MSG, and the MGM, which I was looking up to fight in. That's what you want to do, and that's still the places you dream about. You're not just yet dreaming about appearing in Jeddah, but I mean, if they offer you to go to Jeddah for a fight, or Abu Dhabi, then you're going, because the money is unrivaled.
One thing I did want to ask you about, obviously this card is full of, you know, stacked, not even just heavyweights, but cruiserweights, you know, light heavyweights. One person making their return to big time boxing is Jarrell Miller. What do you make of him coming back to boxing, or the top level heavyweight boxing? Obviously there's the obvious things of him having the failed drug test and this that. What do you make of the whole situation of him being at the top level?
I'm very harsh on the whole drug situation. I have been since an amateur. I've known that, you know, you can't just go and take over the counter tablets, and everything has to be checked and verified before you take it. You can't go and take any protein drink that you want. Needs to be sport approved. So when he feels for everything that he feels for, in my opinion, that should be a lifetime ban. So, but I mean, I don't make the rules in this game. He's getting the chance to fight, and that's what's happening. He's a good fighter. He's a bit of a dog. I think there's been question marks over Daniel Dubois in terms of his mental toughness and resilience, and I think it's going to be tested here against Jarrell Miller. But what I will say is, everyone and their granny is hoping that Daniel Dubois can win this fight. I hope he wins the fight, certainly. But you know, the question you asked me about Jarrell Miller, I don't think he should have ever be involved in boxing again.
You mentioned there about the Dubois' mental capacity. Obviously, there was a lot of questions after the Joyce fight, a lot of questions after the Usyk fight as well, with the way that they finished. What do you make of him, you know, back in sort of the world level mix in a sense, so quickly on after the Usyk fight?
I mean, yeah, it's a tough fight, isn't it? There was a lot of questions being asked about what happened in the Usyk fight, and although he looked like he had a chance to win the fight, there was a pretty soft knee he took in the end, and I mean, ideally probably would have liked another kind of tune-up, warm-up fight or whatever before he took a fight of this size, but I mean, I imagine the money he's getting is insane, so you can't really turn it down.
Absolutely. Last one from me. Expect an announcement very, very soon for Oleksandr Usyk versus Tyson Fury. Obviously not 23rd of December. They're looking at, I think, 17th of February was the date discussed. What do you make of that date going forward?
Of the fight going forward?
Of the date in February now, and it's soon to be official.
Yeah, I much prefer it being in February. I think it gives Tyson more time to prepare for the fight. I think he said he trained for the Ngannou fight. To me, it looked like he didn't, and I've seen certainly better performances from Tyson. I think maybe he just overlooked the big lad as well. I mean, you don't blame him, because everybody and his granny was saying that he was going to win the fight and it's going to be easy. But I still have Fury as a favourite in that fight. I think that if he's fit and he's on his game, I think his size will play an important part in it. But it's just a bit more than size. You know, Fury can fight, he's tricky, he can box orthodox southpaw, so it'd be a bit unfair just to say his size wins him a fight, because he's a very good fighter. But you know, that's not me. I don't want to sound like I'm being disrespectful to Oleksandr Usyk. I love Oleksandr Usyk, genuinely. I think he's an incredible fighter, an incredible character, but you know, I just fancy Fury for that one if it comes off.
Absolutely. Carl Frampton, thank you for your time to speak to you. Appreciate it. All the best, mate. Enjoy this presser and enjoy the face-offs as well, mate. Appreciate it. Thank you.